Good morning and welcome to Set Sail. Today is May 27th and we are wrapping up 1 Chronicles and throwing in a psalm for a little extra. We're in 1 Chronicles 26 through 29 and Psalm 127. If you've already tried your reading, don't get tangled up in all the details of the Levitical reorganization or all the names for the military leaders. I think it might help to zoom out and see what's happening. David is wrapping up his reign of 40 years. He's about to hand it over to his son Solomon. They are no longer a loose group of affiliated tribes. They are now an established kingdom. They have conquered their enemies. They're recognized as a nation. These are not the same people who left Egypt. They have an identity. And David knows that his time is running out. And he's trying to hand his Solomon all the tools that he needs to succeed. The one thing David wanted for his whole life was to build God a temple for the Ark of the Covenant. He's had a palace. He thinks God deserves a permanent place to be worshipped. And God said no. So rather than pout and sulk about the no, David has taken ownership of providing the plans, providing the materials, the money, the workers, so that Solomon can do this successfully. 1 Chronicles chapter 28, he binds the nation of Israel behind this goal on behalf of his son Solomon, and then he commissions Solomon to do this work. So all the reorganization of the Levites is because now they don't have a temporary movable tabernacle anymore. They will now have a permanent location. And so David has set up and organized all of this for Solomon's benefit. I really enjoyed the reading of David's commissioning of the nation of Israel, David's commission to Solomon, and then David's prayer dedicating the temple. It's amazing. If you haven't read it, I challenge you to go read it. He prays in chapter 29, starting in verse 10, and it's a great reflection of David's heart, what he's learned over these 40 years of his walk with Israel and with God. But that's not where I'm going to end today. I think for David, this is his legacy. This is the piece that he leaves of himself behind, and he's entrusting all of his goals now to Solomon. He's commissioning Solomon to follow God in 1 Chronicles 28 in verse 9, and then in Psalm 127 we get to see Solomon's response. So this is kind of a father-son view of God. This is what David establishes and what Solomon carries on. So in 1 Chronicles 28 verse 9 he says, "And you, Solomon my son, know the God of your father, and serve him with a whole heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord searches all hearts and understands every plan and thought. If you seek him, he will be found by you. If you forsake him, he will cast you off forever." And then Solomon writes one of the songs of ascent in Psalm 127. And Solomon's view is, "Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It's vain to rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep." And then he talks about children. So Solomon is David's child. And now Solomon is taking this legacy to pass to his own children. And this is where the blessing comes from, when we can pass what we've learned of God on to our children. And Solomon's done that. David's not perfect. Solomon's not perfect. But they still want to live for God. So it made me think, especially verse 2 in Psalm 127. It's vain to rise up early and go late to rest. Nothing is guaranteed success if we don't invite God into it. And so David invited God into his battles, most of them. Solomon is inviting God into the building of the temple and building the legacy for the family that he wishes to pass on. What are you anxiously toiling about today? What do you need to invite God into? Are you seeking him? Are you anxious? David tried to teach his son, Solomon, these lessons. What's God teaching you? Be blessed.